Culture. That is the buzzword for tonight's San Francisco 49ers report, and why is that? Boots on the ground here in Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58, and one of my big observations in being around the 49ers in the lead up to this game against the Kansas City Chiefs, yes, they've been very cool, calm, and collected. There is a poise to San Francisco where they don't seem to be overwhelmed by the moment. But my biggest takeaway is how many stand-up members there are of this 49ers organization. And that's a credit to the owner and Jed York, general manager John Lynch, and then head coach Kyle Shanahan. All three really have a role in fortifying what is very evident to be a championship culture. Every single Niners player that I have spoken with has been genuinely enjoyable to talk to. This is a very likable team. But what's noticeable is that many of the marquee players I've talked to are superstars. This is a Niners roster that is absolutely loaded. You're talking about multiple future Hall of Famers, all pros and Pro Bowlers. And I've been in a lot of locker rooms before. I've covered a lot of teams at the college and professional level. And sometimes the superstar players are the ones who don't want to speak with the media. But the Niners have been transparent. They've been open. They've been honest. And a key takeaway is just the championship culture that is so clear within this Niners organization. So coming up on today's San Francisco 49ers report, I asked Deebo Samuel, Fred Woerner, Nick Bosa, Christian McCaffrey, as well as George Kittle, why a quality culture can lead to sustained success and why they as individuals find it important to play an integral role as pillars, as part of that culture. And they all had very thoughtful answers on the subject matter, and they spoke glowingly, very highly of how head coach Kyle Shanahan has been able to implement that. And I imagine part of that is due to the fact that he came up under his pops, Mike Shanahan. He was in a lot of NFL locker rooms, and I think that Kyle Shanahan has shown a little bit more of a personality here in Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58. He's been a little bit more personable and less guarded. But from what I've gathered in talking to some of his players, Kyle Shanahan wants you to play hard. And Christian McCaffrey even said that you are not going to play if you don't put forward effort, because Kyle Shanahan plays people based on the tape. He also said, McCaffrey did, that Kyle Shanahan just lets people be themselves. And he lets players just be authentic. And because of that, there's this admiration and there's this level of respect from the players to the head coach. They know that they have to try. They know that they have to care. They know that they have to put in effort and work to actually play for head coach Kyle Shanahan. But they also appreciate how he lets them be themselves. So all of that is coming up right now on the 49ers Report, and I hope you enjoyed this segment here on the show.
It's a great question. I think it's important because when you go through adversity during an NFL season, and it's not if, it's when, because every team goes through something at some point. If you have a bad culture, those are the moments that will dictate whether or not you're going to win or lose the rest of the year. You can be extremely talented for 17 weeks. And then you get to the playoffs and guys are tired, or some people might not be getting the ball, whatever it may be, and then you lose the playoff game and everything's a disappointment. Or you're 6-2, you lose a few games straight. You get my point, but that culture is what holds up when you do go through those times. And if you can weather storms with the right guys, it'll be much, I don't want to say easier, but you can eliminate a lot of distractions in December and January football.
Everybody's kind of pointed to Kyle Shanahan as well. What is his role in that? It seems like he holds you to a high standard, but there's a combination between holding people accountable, but also being somewhat personable to the players.
Yeah, the thing I love most about Kyle and our building in general is everything is off the tape. He lets us be us. Whatever you do, whoever you are, he lets you be that in the purest form. But he coaches off the tape. So if you're a guy that's not playing hard, you kind of end up reading yourself out of the group just naturally, because the offense and the defense requires effort. And so And I think that's contagious. Effort's contagious. And so when you see guys like George and guys like Juice and guys like Trent and all these different superstars all over the field, blocking, finishing blocks, and making selfless plays, that's now the standard. And that's coached.
Thanks, man.
Like, the head coach can say, hey, this is what I want you guys to do, and like, this is the type of team I want to have. But it's up to the players to regulate the players. And like, if your best guys aren't following the culture, how can you expect rookies or new guys of the team to follow if you have your culture? So, what I think Jon and Kyle did such a good job is that they've drafted and brought in free agents, and guys become captains, guys who have been here for a long time and understand how Coach Shannon wants to practice, how we want to treat people in the building, how we want you to show up to work every single day. And I think and then he just reinforces that because, hey, he does say, hey, you guys are doing a great job. You're doing everything that I want you to do. It's really fun. I know, I hear horror stories across the league of other teams, past teams guys have been on, and just some of the teammates that they've had, because there are there's selfish players out there and things like that, but there's not a single person on my team that I have any issue with. I find some DBs annoying once in a while, but you want that. But besides that, it's just when you have a really, really good group of guys that are in the middle, and then everyone's like, oh, I see that you do this every single day, you do this every single day, you don't take shortcuts. It influences the younger guys to do the same, and then that's how you can sustain winning for a long time.
For me, it's a few different reasons, but anytime your peers vote you captain, you take the onus upon yourself to say, hey, I'm gonna be that leader. I'm gonna speak up. I'm gonna hold people accountable. But the way Kyle runs his ship, man, you have to be accountable because he's gonna put you on the big screen in front of the team. And, it don't matter who you are, myself to George to anybody that's not playing up to the standard or having mental mistakes is going to put it up there. So it creates a culture where being held accountable isn't anything nobody gets offended about, because that's what we're used to. That's what our coach does to everybody. So you got to check your pride at the door. And for me, just being as close as I am to Cal, I kind of know him. I know exactly what he wants. And so I'm able to be sort of a disciple in the locker room with helping guys kind of, translate Cal's feelings or Cal's message or just kind of keeping the standard.
I take pride just because you look at all the people that are on this team and the people who brought us all together, Jon, Kyle, the York family, who are just very, just really good at their job, and the fact that they brought me here, and I feel like it's my responsibility as somebody that they paid and one of the top players to do that. And it's not always vocal, it's just being a leader by example, and I think that's my best trait. The Saturday speeches are a little different, but I think I've gotten the hang of kind of feeling the vibe of the team and then just being honest and trying to give them something that they can think about.
Why are the Saturday conversations different?
Different than what?
You said that the Saturday conversations are a little bit different.
Oh, because I have to do the speech on Saturday.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, what goes into that and what's the importance of it and how could it differ from maybe just having a normal conversation?
It's honestly not different. I pull guys aside and have little conversations or little things like the young guys. If I feel like I need to say something, I'll pull them aside. And it's similar. It's not like I'm going up there and I'm citing a crazy motivational rah-rah speech. It's pretty I'm just talking, and that's kind of how I do my leadership.
Lastly, I know your dad played in the league, but everybody kind of raves about your work ethic. You kind of noted to it. It's not always about what you say, it's about what you do. Mike McDaniel joked you would pull off a swim move on a water jug. Can you take me inside the desire to be great? You won Defensive Player of the Year, you got the contract, but what kind of pushes you to be the best of the best?
It's a good question, because sometimes when I've reached these milestones, it's hard for me to enjoy it and kind of have gratitude for it. But I keep on going. I think my injuries honestly have made me have such discipline in the mundane things that when you're going through rehab, you could only do a body weight squat or leg or a quad squeeze, and I'm so disciplined on that when it comes to like bigger things, there's no thought in my mind whether I'm going to come in and do my best and work my hardest. So I forgot the question.
Just, I wanted you to take me inside what motivates you to be great. You partially answered it, though.
I mean, I've wanted to be here since I was probably 3 years old. So it's a dream come true, and I'm competitive. So that kind of all plays in.